What's going on, all of you fantastic freelancers? My name is William from Your Anthem, and for the second time today, we've got another video for you all. Though I'm not complaining, seeing as there hasn't been anything to discuss in quite a while. To make a long story short, as I was editing together the last video on the Cataclysm armor that you can get from the events store, a card to that will appear right about now, I got a message from Javano from Anthem Archive, who does all this data mining stuff and gives us all this really great information, that he had just data mined a bunch more stuff. And when I say a bunch more stuff, I mean a bunch more stuff. We have a lot more to discuss than I thought we would initially, so I guess let's go on ahead and get to it. I should preface a lot of this by saying not all of this will be in the featured store, but rather you can earn them, yes, that's right, earn them from challenges from the Cataclysm. What really pleases me about the Cataclysm, and as I will make a video later on, BioWare has really been listening to us in terms of what we've been wanting, i.e. cosmetics that can be earned outside of the featured store. Well, basically, there are plenty of challenges throughout the Cataclysm that you can do in order to earn this beautiful stuff, such as defeating hidden mini-bosses, earning a certain number of points, completing a certain number of challenges, so on and so forth, and you can get these great cosmetics. Now, keep in mind, not all of them I don't think will be challenge exclusive. I think the armor may be in the featured store, though that's a lot of speculation. I do recognize a lot of the wraps and a lot of the materials, though, from the challenges. Anyways, enough babbling, we're going to get right into it with the wraps, and the reason why we're starting with the wraps is because they are pretty amazing. As many of you know, I have not been a fan of the wraps lately, and that's primarily because of the cost of having them. Though I do recognize most of these on the list, and a lot of them look just drop-dead gorgeous in the game. We're going to start out with Amethyst Breach. As you'll notice with a lot of these wraps from the Cataclysm, they all have crystals or shards or whatever in mind. This one is nice and simple. It features a purple crystal pattern with a black undertone. Moving on to Crystal Gleam. First of all, just wow. Do you guys see that? It's not only a colorful little design pattern or whatever, but it almost looks like another material overlay. It reminds me a lot of the Aurora Borealis, which is really cool. I can imagine this looking really neat with those crystal armor sets that we made that previous video on. Moving on, we have Crystal Sky, which is another one like Crystal Gleam, has that really nice pattern on it. Not just a design, but it looks like they took the sky and put it on a wrap. Moving on to Emerald Husk. This is one that I do remember that you can earn from a challenge in the Cataclysm. Yeah, it's green with black undertones, not much to say about it. However, moving on to Fractured Twilight. This looks unlike anything I've seen before, and I'm willing to bet this will be another one from the Cataclysm that you can, of course, earn. I am a big fan of the tropical color scheme with the crystals poking through it. Like I said, I'm just really impressed with the wraps from the Cataclysm. I like the pink, I like the orange, and those are, believe it or not, two of my least favorite colors in the entire world, so kudos on this design. Moving on to Gleaming Mantle. Yeah, this is another one that you can earn through the challenges. It's another basic one, orange, yellow, with a black undertone. Moving on to Greed's Glisten, which is another one of the basic ones. However, it does have the beautiful legendary drops on it, so I mean, maybe wear it for a chance of RNG boost. We both know that's not going to happen. Moving on to Harmonic Crest, it's another crystal, you guys get the point. Pink, black undertones, wow, really neat, really cool, blah blah blah. Now this, Lucid Night. Wow. Wow. This is a gorgeous wrap. I could see it going really well with some Interceptor designs, and I just really can't get over it. It's an abstract design, and I'm an abstract artist, so I really appreciate it. Plus the lines and the curvatures, wow. Moving on to the Mad Titan. If some of you want to make that beautiful Colossus Thanos build, here you go. It kind of reminds me of an Egyptian design, but the skull on the stomach crying, it's a little much for me, I'll admit. But the helmet piece, gorgeous. The left side with the, I guess, Starry Night with tentacle design. I'm a fan of it. It looks really good. I could definitely see this one being a featured store, though. Don't quote me on that. Moving on to Neon Shard, it looks more like pink watermelon with a green burst on it. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. Not a huge fan of it, but hey, some of you might be. Next up, we have Night Lattice, which is a little bit different from our usual crystal-themed wraps. Purple design everywhere, white outlining the crystals with a black undertone. It looks really nice. I personally wouldn't use it, but I'm not going to complain about a potentially free wrap. Next up, we have Purple Spire. More the same, purple crystal, black undertone. Next we have Radiant Burst. And it's an inside joke, just don't worry about it. It features an orange-red, looks like vines going through it, with of course a yellow overtone with a black undertone. Next up we have Royal Fragment, and trust me, it looks worse on a Javelin than it does on this. You'll find a lot of these wraps look really good on the default Ranger, but not so great on others. It basically looks like a bunch of legendary drops threw up all over it with a dark purple with midnight blue mixed in. It might be some of your cup of coffees, but it is definitely not mine. Moving on, we have Shattered Coral. Again, more of the same. Pinkish purple, dark red underneath, black undertone, yada yada yada. This, however, was one of my favorite ones from inside the Cataclysm, and it's one I ran on my Storm for the most part. It's called Shattered Sea, and I really like it. The cyan overtone, the dark green undertone with some black, it looks great, especially on a Storm. And lastly, we have Splintered Citron, or Splintered Citrine, however you want to pronounce it. It is pretty gorgeous, I'll admit, and I'm not a fan of the colors blue and orange mixed together. I'm impressed. However, I'm not going to brag about it or rant on about any more of these wraps. That's all of them. And like I said, you can earn some of them through challenges, and I don't know how many of them will be in the featured store. However, I could really see BioWare going with a ballsy move and giving all of these through challenges. At least the bulk of them. Now, we do have 2 more sections left to go through, that being materials and of course the armor, but I'm going to save the armor for last because, trust me, they're gorgeous. They are top-notch. Some of these materials are basic and I'm not going to waste a lot of time. First up, we have acrylic matte, painted, acrylic shiny, painted, floral daisies, fabric, but this is where they start getting really cool. They start having those gemstone crystal type designs that of course are throughout the Cataclysm with the crystal theme, and they look pretty good. This one is called Gemstone Amethyst. Next up we have Gemstone Diamond, which would look really, really good on some of those crystal javelins from the Cataclysm war chests. Then we have Gemstone Quartz, and then Glitter Noise, which I could see a lot of people using. We have, believe it or not, one of the hardest ones that I could wrap my head around being Golf Ball. I actually had a lot of fun making my Colossus look like a total golf ball on the Cataclysm PTS. It actually looks better than you'd think. Moving on, we have the Granite Stone, which is the first ever stone material that we have for the Javelins. We've got Ivory Elephant. It looks less cool than the actual material leads you to believe. Now moving on, we have 2 really great ones, not side by side, but oh my gosh, am I so happy to see it. We have the Metal Dragon Medal. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And after the kind of disappointment with the dragon scales, oh my gosh, am I so pleased to see this. We have pink metal, which kind of surprises me considering that we kind of had a pink metal that you could put over a Javelin. Anyways, it's kind of odd to see this, but whatever. Some of you might like it. We have Polish Shattered, painted. Then we have Radioactive Metal, Shell Deep Sea, which was actually more impressive than I thought it would. It left a much bigger impression on the Javelins than I thought it would. Then we have Shell Tropical. It looked all right. And then we've got the beautiful leather skin dragon. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I cannot wait to see what it looks like. However, I really do think that they're going to keep this one in the featured store along with anything that doesn't have something to do with crystals in it. There are a few exceptions like the golf ball and the ivory elephant. Those can be earned through challenges. I just can foresee BioWare doing the dragon stuff in the featured store to make a quick buck. Next up, we have the skin shark leather. Looked great on a storm cape, and I can see it looking really great for some of those soft fabric materials. Moving on to our last 2, we have the suede soft leather, and lastly, the wood ebony, which the Freelancer Codex guys and I were freaking out over as soon as we saw it. We earned it. It doesn't look as great in person, but hey, I mean, it's wood, right? I suppose they're giving us something to work with. Anyways, that's it from the materials and the vinyls. I know what you all are waiting for, the armor, and we saved the best for last. Now, when I say that these are some of the most unique designs I've seen yet, I really and truly mean that. Such as the first one, and it is an interceptor design. Believe it or not, no, this isn't a storm, this is an interceptor called the Aether. Now you'll notice that it has a cloth physic over its right leg. I think that it will move like the Storm's cape, which is kind of wild to see, especially considering the cloth physic hasn't happened on any of the other suits yet. This looks much more like a scholarly, aristocratic design for the Interceptor, much more regal than we've seen before and a lot less stealth and combat focused. Seriously though, I am overwhelmingly impressed with this design. Not because it looks especially incredible, but but because it is something new. They're trying other things, and I'm really excited to see the future of Anthem's cosmetics if this is anywhere near what they're going for in the future. However, we're going to move on from that really quickly because this is one of the armor sets I think is just drop dead impressive. It is called the Barrage Ranger set, and it reminds me a lot of Boba Fett or some sort of bounty hunter armor set Mandalorian from SWTOR. I like the heavy padding, I like the bounty hunter looking helmet, and especially the little backpack it's got going on with the open column design. I really don't know the best way to put it. However, this is a bounty hunter design through and through, and I can see some military applications going into it as well. I would really love to see what you guys pull off with this beautiful Barrage Ranger armor set. It is something that we haven't seen before. It doesn't look like your average Ranger, and it looks really, really impressive. Moving on though, we do have the Dark Grace Colossus armor set, and it looks like an ancient Colossus armor set at that. The overarching dome looks almost predating Helena Tarsis, which I know it isn't possible. The arms aren't overwhelmingly impressive, though I can think of other armor sets to mix and match with. It doesn't look like it has anything special going on in the back, but I do think this is a pretty impressive and pretty unique Colossus design. Moving on, we have the full-bore armor set, and I kind of think it looks like a submarine. I know we've had a submarine-looking Colossus armor set in the past, but this looks even more like a submarine, especially with that turquoise color scheme with the light gold bronzing. I like it, it's nice, it's rounded, it's smooth. Now, is it something that I might pick up the first go-around? Probably not. Moving on, we have another Interceptor armor set, and it is something that I didn't expect it to even look like. It is called the Recon armor set, and I don't think it looks much like a Recon, more like the Aether armor set that we looked at previously, where it looks more like an Aristocrat or Arcanist. It features a flat build top, a very different mask piece, a lot of leather and fabric going on underneath. The blades look normal. It has arm guards. The legs have slightly more padding. You've got side pockets on either side of the hip, and of course, the shoulders feature some sort of angular, jagged design. Honestly, if I was thinking how a Dominion Interceptor would look, this is kind of what I would envision. And I'm sort of wondering with some of these designs, especially with the Cataclysm Crystal Armor designs, if these are taken based off of Dominion design. Oh well, that's all kind of speculation. Last but not least, we have a really cool, almost cat-like Storm armor set called the Swift Shot. The helmet features some sort of nice little cat, rabbit, bunny, whatever you want to call it, ears up top. I mean, it's adorable, but the helmet is kind of cool, especially with the jagged mouthpiece region. The torso is nice and slick, and the shoulders don't really feature too much. It does have a small shoulder piece on the left side, and the seals on the right arm are somewhat smooth. I can't really figure out the terminology to use for it. Also, the leg pieces look really great. They are smooth, and they're a bit longer than anything that I've seen prior. But anyways, my fantastic freelancer friends, I know this video has gone a little longer than anticipated, but it's only because we had so much, and I cannot thank Javano over at Anthem Archive enough for this stuff. Dude, you are a lifesaver, and without Anthem really having a lot of content to discuss right now, it really means the world to me. But what do you all think of this new stuff? What do you all think of a lot of it coming from challenges, and yeah, some of it will come from the featured store? Thoughts, opinions, feelings, so on? Let me know in the comment section below, as I really do read through all of your comments, and I will respond if there's conversational potential. And if you want to stay up to date on all things about your game, Anthem, including the Cataclysm as it will be approaching very soon, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Your Anthem for all of your Anthem needs. A very special and monumental thank you, as always, to my patrons and channel members for their generous donations and support of Your Anthem. Your support has meant the world to me and helps me a lot, especially during these content droughts. I hope all of you fantastic freelancers have a phenomenal day as always, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next video very soon, but hopefully not way too soon. And remember, freelancers, we are strong alone, but we are stronger together.